So in the next part of this getting started with React tutorial, we will dig into these React components and props or properties. React components is the main foundation of all React applications, and we have already in the previous part we saw this component. In this case, this my app is a React component specifying just hello world or something. So then I guess React uses components to create and build up the graphical user interface. So in React you create and use components. You create and use components to build your user interfaces. And in a React app, every piece of the user interface is a component. So typically you will create multiple components, and those components together will be the React or web user interface. And components in React are independent and reusable, so you can reuse the component in different places. I guess components serve the same purpose as a JavaScript function, but works in isolation and returns pure HTML. So as in this previous example, the my app component here return a pure HTML like this. And React components are regular JavaScript functions, so then that's why we use this function to define the component, and then each component needs to return HTML code like this. One important thing, the React component must start with a capital letter, or if not, they will not work. So in this case, it has to be a capital letter here, my app in this case. So let's see how we can create another component, in this case a button. So let's create this component. It's a button, and then later we are going to click on it in order to create some responses. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code and the example we created there in order to create this button component in React. Then here we have this my react.html that we have already created, and here is the component in the previous example called my app, but now we can create a new component called function, and we call it button in this case, like this. And the return part of this button component will just be actually a button with the name click me or something. And then here in the root render we are using this this component, but you can change it to button like this. So now when we render this React page, it will be the button component that will be executed, which we have here. So let's see, go back to our web page here, click refresh, and then you see it's just a button. And then we can also use this button in the main component here, my app. So let's go back to my app like this, and then we can include the button here. So then you can just use my app like this. In order to sorry, not my app of course, but a button like this. So then this component will be the startup component, which we specified here in the root render, and that component again is using the button component that we have created here. So let's see how this will work. So then just click refresh, and then this part of the HTML page is from this my app component, and this button is this React component that we have created here. So now our React web page is containing of two components, my app component and the button component, like this. So now we know how to create basic components in React. So let's see how we can create so-called props. Props, or short for properties, are basically arguments passed into the React components. And props are basically passed to the component as HTML attributes. And props are like function arguments in JavaScript and attributes in HTML. So let's see how we can use props in the button component that we have already created. So we are back in our previous example, which we have created this React application, and we have created a button component here that we use in this main component called my app. But assume we want to have multiple buttons here, so then we can do like this. And have in the main app here I can add multiple buttons like this. So we can add 3 buttons then, just to exemplify, and then we get 3 buttons here. So, but all 3 buttons now has the same text. So assume I want to have 3 buttons, but I want to have different text inside the buttons. So then in order to do that, I can use something called props. So then we go into our button component. So here is the text that should be displayed on the button. So now it's click me, click me, click me, but assume I want to have new here, edit, delete or something, then I can use this props functionality. Then the props should be an input to the component like this. So it's an argument here, so props. And then instead of this text click me, I can use the props here. So then we need to use this so then you just need to use these curly brackets. So here I can so assume I want to present different names on the button here. So then here I can just, where I'm using the button component, here I can specify, for instance, like this, name equals to, and then the name of the button. Assuming the first button I want to have the new should be put on the display name here. For the second button, I want to use edit for this button, and for the third button I want to use delete, like this. So now we have 3 buttons, one that should display new, the other one should display edit, and the third should display delete. And then here in the button components we are using then props, and then these curly brackets, and then I basically just use props dot, and the name of the prop, which is this case is a name. Of course I can specify and use whatever name I want to use here for the different props. But a good name is, in this case, is name, since it should be the name of the button, or I could use title, whatever. So now let's just save it, and now click refresh here now, and then you see I will have these 3 buttons, but then this one is here it's the title is new, here is edit, and here it's delete. So instead of name I could have used title like this. And then instead of props.name I can just use title like this, and then just click refresh here now, and you will get the same result. So that's how we use props to send data to a component like this button component. So far we have created React components and React props. So let's see also how we can create React events on these components. So basically, React lets you add event handlers to your components, and event handlers are your own functions that will be triggered in response to user interactions like clicking, hovering over a button or a text, focusing, etc. React events is very similar to ordinary HTML events, but typically you need to use camel casing instead of so typically in HTML events you use this onClick in order to create an event handler for clicking the button, but in React you need to use this syntax onClick instead, so you typically need to use this camel case notation. You also need to use curly brackets like in this example, so you use onClick equal to the event handler like this. That's the name of the event handler and that's the name of the event. But in ordinary HTML events you use this onClick equal to show messages here without these curly brackets, and you need to use a parenthesis. But here you use, in React you use curly brackets and no parentheses like this. So let's see how we can add an event handler to our button React component. So let's go back to our example. We have created this hello world example with 3 buttons. But typically when we click on the button, nothing happens. In order to make something happen, a pop-up or something, we need to create a React event that is triggered when we click on these buttons. So then here in our button component, we can start by specifying an onClick event here. So then we just specify here onClick, and then note this camel annotation, and then we use equal and these curly brackets. And then we specify the name of the event handler. We can call it show message or something. You can call it whatever you like. And then here on top of the component we just need to create this event handler. So then we just use the function and the name of the event handler, show message in this case. Something like this, just some auto-generated code here. So then alert, and then when we click on the button, hello, how are you, or something like that. No, this is the updated React component. So that's the name of the component. Here is the returning HTML code, which is basically a button. And then we have used a prop here, a props, in order to be able to use different names for the button. We have 3 buttons: new, edit, delete. Let's just change also the name of the button. So how are you, something. Then we can have I'm good, I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling sad or something. So then we have 3 buttons, and we have created an onClick and then specify the event handler that we have created here. And then when we click on these buttons now, this message should pop up, hello, how are you, or something. So let's just save it. I click refresh here, and now we have these buttons with the name good, bad, sad. You can also specify here how are you, just here, then refresh. So how are you, like this. So hello, I can also remove this part, hello world, sorry, click refresh, So hello world, my name is Hans Petter Halvorsen, how are you? And then you can click either good, bad or sad button. Let's click on good, and then you just type this message, which is part of the event handler function. So then using this alert JavaScript method, and then hello, how are you? Like this. And also if you click on these buttons, the same happens when you click on all these buttons. But typically you also want to have, when you click on this button, we should say hello, you are feeling good or something. And then you click on this button, hello, you are feeling bad, and hello, you are feeling sad or something. So then we can do like this. We can use the props here, then we can use the props title like this. Now, instead of just saying when you click on the button, hello, how are you, then it also show the title of the button and a question mark like this. So let's just save, refresh, and now when I click good here, how are you, you can just how are you, you are feeling like this. So now when I click here, so hello, how are you, you are feeling good, and you click on the good button, and you click on the bad button, hello, how are you, you are feeling bad. When you click on the sad button, hello, how are you, you are feeling sad, like this. So basically that's how you create a component with a return value. You create a property for the component, and then finally we're creating an event handler like this. So that's the name of the event, and that's the name of the event handler that we specified here, like this.